Hi all, welcome back to more Europa Universalis. This is the ambitious Margrave solo scenario. This is my part 7. Still neglecting my other games, but I'm not having an awful lot of time at the moment. I need more time to be able to sort of come up and settle down and go across the other tables and work out what I'm doing. So I do need to stick with the freshest game that's in my mind at the time. And I'm enjoying this. I have to say, I'm liking it. It's there's some bits here that recording last night was starting to get to me a little bit, and however, because we're not even quite through the Danish bot's turn, are we? Anyway, I've got 2 or 3 things to discuss though first. So after making the blunder regarding this excommunication that is in here on the Austrian capital, Vienna, and after moving it from, which we thought we blundered while we were doing, it was the Danish bot we were doing, and we excommunicated our own capital and removed cubes. So then I thought I'd fixed it by moving that back, and now it's been pointed out to me. Martin pointed out, and I got a comment on BGG as well, saying that, and this is a silly one. This is a daft one. Everything up to now I've been fine about. Anything that's been pointed out to me, but it clearly states. Well, I'll show you. So this is what we were doing with the Denmark bot. Has Catholic religion? Yes. Is uncontested papal controller? Well, no. Is papal controller? It's not. He's not the papal controller. It was Austria that was the papal controller at the time. So it's right there. And of course, I've then started looking at the rest of this excommunication. Whether it kind of threw me. I don't know. I've also got this excuse of, if you recall, at first we did it for the Austrian bot, but I think I still don't think I was registering the fact that it had to be the papal controller. But it makes more sense now, because it seemed like something that, I don't know, I hadn't seen before, and I think that's the reason I probably hadn't seen it before, because any time it's been activated, it's not been the papal controller that's done it. But I think apart from that, I think it would have happened, and if it'd been Austria that was doing it, they would have done it because they were the papal controller. So, however, it wasn't. So, and it was, and we came on to do that. So it should have moved down into here. Which first of all means, hang on, let me go back to here. So we've now got to adjust this again. It's a bit of a mess, but I don't think it's affected anything else. So we took 1 prestige point from Austria, so we're going to give them that prestige point back just now, and we discarded 4 influence from Austria. Now, where did they go from? So I want to say we've done that. Well, we did do that alphabetically. Let me get. It's a bit of a stretch to go and get the trays, but I'm not at them all the time. But where else do you put everything in? So I'm getting 4 influence back here, because they should not have lost that. Now I might need to go back and look at a bit of video footage here, I think, because I think I'm going to be slightly guessing. I want to say there was 2 in here, and that's Bavaria, so that would have been the first in the alphabetically. I want to say there was 2 in here. I want to say there was 1 in Bohemia, and I want to say there was 1 in central Italy. So I think that's where I'm putting them back, but I'm going to just double check. Okay, so I was right. I thought that was pretty good of me to remember that, but I just checked, and it was just last night's video that we'd done that, so it wasn't that long ago. So it was 2. That was the first 2 that got removed alphabetically. They were first. They had 1 in Bohemia, so that was the second one, and then the third one was in central Italy, which was third in alphabetical order. And we also need to get rid of that, not the war. I can't really pick that up with tweezers. I don't want to try it again. It pinged away when I tried it before. So excommunicated. So that marker comes off. Now, where was that? That was in a bit of more special place, I think, in there. Yeah, let's put it in there. Okay, so that shouldn't happen. That's twice now we've reset that. No, we've got one other thing to do. So I'm going to reset it. We need the cardinal put back. Yeah, it does actually say that. I didn't quite read on that. But so we've done that obviously as well. So excommunicate opponent. Opponent loses 1 prestige. Right, we've given that back. 1 cardinal, we've given that back, and it was in the leftmost slot because he was actually the papal controller, and must discard 4 influence from Catholic areas. Oh, Catholic areas, that said. I think everything's Catholic. It's possible that there's maybe 1 or 2 that aren't, Grant. Catholic. Oh, no. Bohemia is diverse faiths. So there you go. Just as well I've noticed that one as well then. Well, something to keep in mind, but yeah, if you look, this is diverse faiths. The rest of them are Catholic. I mean, it does specifically say Catholic areas. Yeah, Central Italy and Bavaria, Swabia. Yeah. Oh, I need to watch that one as well then. Okay, so what should have happened then? Well, we should have went, that would have been a no. It should have been place a cardinal in the leftmost regular papal curia slot. If now papal, I guess you could call it either papal, I think though. If now papal controller, remove excommunication on own realm, if any. Okay, so it's going to place a cardinal in the leftmost regular papal curia slot. And then it's just going to go to end turn. So the leftmost, does that shift things along? Yeah, I wasn't sure about this one. I've done it before because when I took this one away, I wasn't sure if that should have shifted along. We're putting a Denmark cardinal in. I mean, that's the leftmost available, but I'm wondering if it goes in there and they get shifted to the right. Hang on. It does say place new cardinal. Yeah, because I read this recently as well. It says here, place new cardinal in slot number 1 and slide the other cardinal 1 slot to the right. Then remove the rightmost if now in an inactive slot. So I think this is going to happen. Actually, let me just go and look at the rules for that though, for papal curia in the actual rule book. Oh, I'm also seeing something here. Does it tell you that up there? No. Because there's 6 slots there. Now, it did tell us to start Austria, Brandenburg, Denmark. But I'm just reading here. The number of regular cardinal slots available on the papal curia track at any given time is always 1 more than the number of Catholic player realms currently active in the game. Well, that's going to be 4. And it says there, block off any slots not in play. Starting setup for the papal curia is described in each scenario. And then it finishes with, when you gain a cardinal, it is placed in the first cardinal slot to the right of the dotted line on the papal curia track. All cardinals currently on the track are then slid 1 space to the right. And then if there is a cardinal in the rightmost available slot, when a new token is added, this cardinal is returned to its owner. Okay, so I think we've done that right. But I'm a little concerned about this. I'm looking at the setup again, and it's papal curia. It says Austria controls Cardinal 1, Brandenburg Cardinal 2, and Denmark Cardinal 3. It doesn't tell you any more about this. But maybe I'm just meant to know by the rules that Number of regular cardinal slots available in the Papal Curia track at any given time is always one more than the number of Catholic player realms currently active in the game. Well, there's definitely 3 Catholic realms, because we all had a cube to start with. So one more than that is 4. And it says block off any slots not in play. So that means that slots 5 and 6 there are not in play. I'm not sure what you meant to block it off with. I don't recall there being any counter or anything to use for that. Okay, I've just chucked a couple of rebel units up there then. There seems to be loads of them anyway. So I think that is how it should be, but let me know if I've got that wrong. I'm maybe going to look a little more into that. That seems to be what it's suggesting in the rules. And the setup, although it does not tell you to block these off, tells you that there's only 3. So maybe you're then meant to assume, because like I say, it is in the rules. Okay, so we'll go with that for now. Right, so that's that fixed. Good. And I don't think that had any effect on anything that's happened, which is good. It is one of these games that you can get away with things. Well, you're not going to be able to get away with everything, but it looks like it's possible to rewind a little bit. Which brings me to my next thought. Just watching back part 5 I was today. And part 5, this is part 7. I mean, what has happened in part 6? What are we on now? We're on Denmark's turn. So the last turn that I had, we spent 1 diplomatic power and placed an influence cube here. And then I was slithering about, maybe should I put more influence and look to try and gain one of these or whatever, or should we just stick with this and look for this royal marriage and whatever. And then I says, I need to understand the game a bit more to realise what would be the right thing to do. However, I was kicking myself afterwards because it's not that one. Control electors. Yeah, kicking myself afterwards because we've got these missions to do, and this one here says in 3+, so you've got to have either 3 or more of these, Rhineland, Westphalia, Saxony, Brandenburg or Bohemia. So you've got 5 choices there, and you need 3 of them at least. Either have the most influence, minimum 2, no tie, or own all provinces in the area. And what I was wondering at first is, can you have either or? And I think so. I think the way that's written is, I could have, for instance, I do own all the provinces in Brandenburg. So that to me is one of these 3, right? But I don't think I have to have all the, let's say I want to look at Rhineland and Saxony. I don't think there I also need to own all the provinces. I think I could still have the most influence. That was my take on it, and I'm pretty sure that's right. So here was me with an influence action and loads of money in my bank. Well, not loads, but I've got 15. So 15 ducats. And it cost me 3 ducats. It would cost me 3 extra ducats. I don't have any more diplomatic power. But the influence action, you've got to pay 1 for the first one. 1 diplomatic power for the first influence. And then after that, you can either use a diplomatic power or 3 ducats. So, in actual fact, I could actually wipe out my ducats and place 5 influence. So, I was wondering about being cheeky and rewinding here and saying, look, I could possibly complete this because I just need 2. So hang on, have the most influence, a minimum of 2 and no tie. Right, so we'll lay it there. Rhineland, where's Rhineland? Here. Right, okay, well we need to put 2 in there, so that's a bit more expensive. Let's look at the other ones. Westphalia. Well, there you go. I've got one in Westphalia. So all I need to do is put one more influence in there, and that's me then got 2 out of the 3 that I need. And then, what else have we got? Saxony. Okay, I would need 2 in there. Brandenburg, well, we're using the Brandenburg owns all provinces part. And then the last one's Bohemia. Well, there you go. There's Bohemia. It's got 1 as well. You know, Austria's got 1 too, but I need to have the most, a minimum of 2, and no ties. So if Austria had 2 in there and I had 2, obviously that doesn't count. So I could actually spend 6 ducats to put an influence in here and an influence in here, and I think that would complete that. Now, I'm backtracking past Austria's turn and a bit Denmark's turn. So this is not something that I generally do. I can hear the boos. Boo. Well, I'm wondering about if I can get away with doing this now that I've realised that I've been silly and I should have done this. What does it do? The effects, it increases... Oh yeah, increases Imperial authority by 1, or I gain +1... That's manpower. I gain +1 manpower. That's huge. How does that get tracked then, that manpower? I mean, I suppose I just gain another... Well, yeah, but you need to track that elsewhere, don't you? Do you use one of the wee +1 markers, maybe? Because how are you going to know? Anyway, what you've got to decide is that are you going to cheat here, Grant? Are you going to cheat? Be a big cheater and rewind it. What have I done? Denmark's in the process of war against Hamburg, which has also brought the wrath of Austria to call to arms to defend it. What did the Austrians do in their turn? I'm just wondering if me backtracking here, is it going to make any difference? It just seems a shame because it would be a waste of that influence. I've got the money. I'm going to do it. Boo! Right. I'm going to spend 6 ducats. And then when I've done the influence action, I've spent my 1 diplomatic power, and I'm going to spend 6 more ducats to place 2 influence, 1 in Westphalia and 1 in Bohemia. And then that should complete that, because now we own all provinces in Brandenburg. We've got the most cubes, a minimum of 2 in Westphalia and Bohemia. So that gives us the 3. So we're going to, and we don't want to increase the Imperial authority, but we do want to gain +1 manpower. I'm just not sure how I'm going to track that. Maybe have a wee BGG look for that. Control electors. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I couldn't find anything regarding control electors, but I did come across a post regarding another... actually, maybe it wasn't a mission, it was maybe an idea. Yeah, it was an idea and it said gain 1... It said instant effect, and you were gaining +1 manpower per area with something in it or something. And the guy was asking, is it permanent or is it? And it was answered that it was a permanent, and you get a +1 manpower token for it. I'm not quite sure where I'm meant to put this, but that's fine. Some of these are, I think maybe the colours are just what's on the background, to be honest. What is that? Yeah, it's just the colours that are on the back. Yeah, some of them have got wee black bits there, and these have got, but then I think it's just what's on the back, the colour on the back, I think. So I'm going to get one of these then. I dare say, no. Where should I put it? Am I missing something simple that I should be? I'm not sure. I thought about putting it up here beside the exhausted are available. I put it in here beside my treasury, so if anybody maybe knows, and also please confirm if I am getting that right. But I mean that's what I think. It's you're gaining that for good. So that's excellent, because that's now 1, 2. Well, that's us up to 3 manpower, isn't it? Okay, it's just another 1 grand, but you know, you can see that you only start with. No, I started with 2, didn't I? I started with 2. I think we dropped back because of this. We want to get this town. We'd like to get this town. Of course, that's why we need to get things going with this whole subjugate. But then we need the royal marriage, don't we? Yeah, and we've not seen that card yet. So anyway, right. So that's me completed that. I know, boo. I know. Well, let me know what you think. If you think that was awful, or if you think, I know I don't like doing things like that, but it just seemed like a really silly thing to have missed. Yes, I could wait and do it again, but as you can see, I suppose I looked and maybe thought, I've not got diplomatic power. I would need to do this whole change national focus, which I'm probably intending doing, and I would then have 2 diplomatic power probably if I move that into there and that into there, and I would only need 1 to get the subjugate card. So Grant, yeah, how are you getting yourself out of this one? And that's it. But I wanted to be kind of greedy and do a trade, so to get some of that money back that I've just used in my backtrack. Right, so I think now I don't think this happens right away, but that now gives me access to these 2 cards. But we can't. This is completed, and I want to say I can put that somewhere else, and then these unlocks these 2 cards. I think I could probably go and get the cards just now. We can't get them. We can't use them because that's sorry, glare there. I can't really avoid that. We can't use them until we go into that step of the sequence of play, which is draw cards phase, I think. Yeah, step D of the draw cards phase. It says pick/replace missions, maximum 2 in hand. So you can see I've got a space for 1 more. And on saying that, the 2 new that I'm about to draw for that, I might think they're better than that, and I might just discard that one and use the 2. Or we've got the other one that was set aside as well. I think I'll just leave that down there just now, in case somebody does come and tell me that I'm terrible for doing what I've done, and I should change that back. But anyway, right. Well, I've done it now. I dare say it could be changed if somebody did say something. I don't think the game state has changed in a way that mattered, if you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure if somebody wants to point out that, somebody can sort of say to me, well, you know, Austria would have done this instead of that, or Denmark would have attacked something else, but now because you've got extra influence. If somebody points that out to me, I will take it back, but I feel like it's no change to what's been happening, so we're going to go with that. Okay, you can be all you want. Right, okay. Right, so back to where we were, and we are in the military action flowchart still, and we are here because we kind of ran out of time, and it was, yeah, this was taking a while, and we knew other things were going to happen here, and etc. So, yeah, so there's war in Hamburg, and Hamburg is a port, and we got down to here, and declaration of war triggers naval battles, ? Well, it does. I'm just going to, I suppose, is that page 16 or rule 16? I'm just going to double check that it is actually triggering a battle. I think it is. Well, page 16 is actually about the naval, it's about military actions there. So this is page 28, naval battles. So at any point during the action phase or peace and rebels phase, a naval battle will commence if any of these situations occur. Right, let's look at the situation first. So the situation is Denmark's declaring war on Hamburg, right, which is a port into the North Sea here. Now, I think it's into Skagerrak. Yeah, you can see it's just into the North Sea, so I think that's the only place that's affected. Now, one of the other things, I was watching a bit more footage again today, like I said I would, of I was trying to watch a bit of my own stuff as well, so I can release the videos that I've done, but I also need to look at more stuff to try and understand the game. So I watched more of Bridger's stuff, and yeah, I'm seeing that he does get some things wrong. He's a bit too quick, and maybe, but he does know what he's doing as well half the time. But yeah, somebody made a comment saying that he was getting some things wrong, but there's he's doing it live, so there's a few folk maybe picking him up, and he's backtracking to fix things and whatever, that's a benefit to doing it live, I suppose. I mean, I wouldn't do anything like that, but and then one of the things I noticed that I might get caught out in is that some of these realms, like there's Hamburg there. Now, how do you know? Right, I need an example though. Actually, I want to say the one that I noticed, it was Venice. Because see, this is Venice, Venezia. So that's their emblem there. There, and they've got Brescia as well, which is into Lombardy. Right, so they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, and no, that's Austrian. Yeah, but there, look, there's another one down there, Zara. And yeah, and you're gonna have to watch that, because I mean, because I think it was the bit when Bridger, one of the bots, had declared war, and I think on Venice, and you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted to believe that there might be another one, but you're gonna have to watch, because they're sometimes not in the same area. There's Provence there, and it's up in Anjou, so that's a good bit away. I mean, I suppose they are a good bit away, but they're still within the range. I mean, that does seem a bit strange. That one's away up there, and that one's down there. Huh? It's just something you could get caught out with. So I started thinking, right, well, we've got Hamburg there. Has Hamburg got any other? You know, I don't think it tells you that in that realm map, does it? It just basically says, or I wonder if it does give you some idea of maybe how many there is, maybe. No. Oh well, hang on. It tells you the ducat cost. I'm sure their tax. What was I trying to say here? Their tax income. It shows their tax income. So, if I find Hamburg here, again, there's maybe some other stuff on BGG that could be more useful for this as well. Well, I say more useful, I mean like it's a bit more detailed and tells you where. I think somebody's got something out there, maybe tells you more where, because it's quite hard to find some of these, and quite hard to find them on this. Are they in? I mean, they're not in any alphabetical order. Right, let me. Right, there it is. Hamburg. So it's in Lower Saxony. Right, And it's got the 2 dates there because you've got two. I'll zoom in a little bit. You've got two starting game type eras. But you can see there it's one tax income, which says that it's only one small town, one small province. Yeah, not a town. I mean, it's one small province, I think. If it was a large province, I think that would count for 2. So where could I find one that's got a large one? There's Lorraine. There it's there. And that's a 2. Yeah. There you go. And then there's Lorraine on the map. It's just the one that came out to me, and I was able to look at that and actually find it quite well. So that's a large... That's a well, no, they're going to be capitals, aren't they? If they're on their own, I think they need to be the capital. So that's a large one, and that's why it's 2 tax income. Whereas we look, where were we looking for Venice? To me, Venice should be, it's got a big province and 1, 2, 3, 4 small provinces. So that's 6, isn't it? There's Venice there. Oh, it's 7. Look, it's 7. So there is something hiding. Or have I just not counted it right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah? And it's saying it's 7. Ooh. Plus. Oh, it's got a vassal. Look. It's got a vassal. You're looking at Naples, Grant. There's Venice. See the wee thing there. So it must have... Right, we're gonna try and find this then. Right, well, I can't find it. I mean, could it be in the overseas bit? I mean, surely not. Nah, I'm not seeing it at all. And even if it's the wee vassal thing, then it's got the little flag like that one. So I was looking for that, and that's a wee bit trickier to like look for, but I still can't seem to find it. I guess there must be something else there, but I'm not seeing it. Maybe somebody will point it out to me. Anyway, this was just to get an idea, Grant. What about another one there? Mind you, we're going to look at one that's... No, I think that's what that's based on anyway. Yeah, just I can't find the 7th one. And it would be 2 for that, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just one more. But we can't seem to find it. Right, okay. Well, I'll leave that for now. So, where were we? I'm totally lost now. What was I doing? Yeah, we're checking the naval battle, Grant. Oh my, this is going to take some time to get through in it. So Hamburg is on its own. Is what I'm trying to achieve here. There's only one port that's Hamburg. Because I think when he done this one down in Venice, if you look, this is a port, this is a port, this is a double port, and this is a port. So all they count for, I think they can all launch ships. In fact, this one might be able to do 2 ships. So that'd be 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be 5 ships attacking. But I mean, for Denmark right now, they've got a ship there, and I think Hamburg have got one small port that can have a ship. So, but we need to read on and find out what that all means. So yeah, back to here then. If any of these situations occur, ships hostile to each other end up in the same sea zone. Well, I don't think they've got ships in the same sea zone, although they're obviously hostile. Denmark and Hamburg are hostile. A player realm wishes to fight the pirates in a trade node adjacent to where the activated ships ended a naval activation. Right, that's not applying. I think it's maybe one of these two, which we're looking for page 36. Ships move into a sea zone facing one or more enemy NPR ports. Well, the ship hasn't moved in. Can we move a ship maybe as well? You've got to watch you're not missing something here, Grant. I think it's more this one here. Player realm ships are located in a sea zone where, upon a declaration of war, one or more NPR ports become hostile to the player realm. That's exactly what's happened, isn't it? No battle is triggered with an NPR if ships hostile to that NPR were already there. Oh. No battle is triggered with an NPR if ships hostile to that NPR were already there prior to the current turn. Well, no. Because Denmark didn't have a hostile ship there. It did have a ship there. Yeah. So it is still this one, I think. So page 36 with the little asterisks down the bottom. But let's look page 36 then. I think it's this one. NPR defending sea zones. Each time you move your ships in a sea zone adjacent to an enemy NPR, they will engage in a naval battle with a number of light ships equal to their NC for that sea zone. See page 23. Well, that's not. They've not moved. But the next bit, it says a naval battle will also be triggered if you have ships in such a sea zone when you declare war. Yeah. If there are ships hostile to your NPR enemy already located in the sea zone. Yeah, I think it's that bit. Page 23. Right, give me a sec. Hang on, I'm going to have to take a short break. Right, that's me back. I had a disaster, knocked over my tripod. Thought I had broken it actually, but it seems to still be in place. Although I notice, yeah, everything's not as it should be, I think. But it still seems to be working. So I think this is right, this. But I'm also just looking across here at the solo rules for naval battles. And it says there are bot ships trigger naval battles under the same conditions as those of human players. See page 28 of the main rules, which I think that's where it was at first. On a bot's turn, this may happen during naval explore, military or defend action. So it's on a military action. When a bot as the active player wins its first battle of the turn, it receives 1 bot power. For each battle, follow the instructions below or use the chart on page 16. The chart on page 16. Right, okay. Yeah, the chart on page 16. Which is naval battle resolution. Which just as well I looked at because I'm not so sure I would have considered that. It's maybe better looking at this because I want to say that the bot's going to do things slightly differently. Because it did say there that hang on. See, it says there are naval battles. Well, the naval battles versus opponents. It says this is not. He's not having a naval battle with an opponent. It's an NPR. Only the bot rolls dice. Right, hang on. Right, let's try and go with this because I think there's a situation for a naval battle here because there's a hostile ship beside a hostile port, so there should be. So naval battle. Any enemy is a player realm. No. It's not a player realm, it's a non-player realm. So let's just go through this and see. Roll battle dice, artillery dice equals hostile ships. See. I was hoping it was maybe going to give me a bit more than just jumping in there. Yeah, I'm going to need to know more of this. I want to say the videos that I've watched, it was only I think it was only in the non-player realm that rolled the dice. I don't think, mind you, could it have been that they didn't have any ships? No. I'm sure he only rolled. Right, hang on. Right, let's do the follow the instructions below. But that's naval battles versus opponents, and if I'd looked further down, I would have seen naval battles versus NPRs. So when a bot fights a naval battle versus an NPR, always roll a number of artillery dice equal to the number of NPR ships. Well, there's no NPR ships as such. There's a port there. If the number of cannons rolled is greater than or equal to plus 2 bots adjacent ports. See, it's not. This is the other way about, isn't it? Am I doing this wrong? Hang on, Grant. We'll read this again. When a bot fights a naval battle versus an NPR, always roll a number of artillery dice equal to the number of non-player realm ships. Right, well, I'll need to figure out what that is. They've got one small port. So, if the number of cannons rolled is greater than or equal to 2 plus the bot's adjacent ports, the bot loses and must remove its ship. If less than this, the bot wins and its ship stays on the map. So, I don't know how many ships it's considered Hamburg have here. Which I'm going to look at, unless I'm totally making a mess of this. But the number roll would need to be 2 plus the bot's adjacent port. So I would say this is an adjacent port and this is an adjacent port. Vestland, Schleswig, Holstein, no, it's in the other sea area. So I would say 2 plus the 2 ports. So 4. So he's unlikely to be rolling 4 dice, is he? Well, how do we decide how many dice he's rolling? Always roll a number of artillery dice equal to the number of non-player realm ships. Right, I need to know how many ships we're considering he's got then. Okay, I've been looking about more and came across this. So this is the naval capacity, because I'm wondering about, wait, Denmark have 1 ship there, but then they have to count their ports, I think, as well. But this naval capacity is the measure of how many ships a realm can muster in a sea zone. A realm's naval capacity for any given sea zone is equal to the number of ports that they own that face that particular sea zone. Large port counts as 2 ports. This value is used to determine 1, how many ships a player realm can place into a sea zone during a recruit units action, and 2, how many ships an NPR will use to defend the sea zone when under attack. So that means it's only 1 then, isn't it? Well, this seems like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not getting this right. So that means they've got 1 ship, and they've got to deal 2 plus the 2 ports. So they've got to deal 4 points of damage. And they're getting 1 ship, which means they're all just 1 dice? That can't be right. Well, if it's right, it's not worthy of rolling the dice, is it? I'm going to have to... I really feel like I need more video footage to watch. The problem with... Yeah. I like to watch some of the videos Roberto put out there again, but he's not specifically dealing with the solo side of things, so whether that's different in this situation or not, I mean, if it was us in a naval battle here, yeah, I'm struggling. Right, I've decided I just need to move on with this. This is taking far too long. I need to get this finished and just make a decision. Now, I watched a bit back more Bridger's playthrough this scenario in Bishop Margrave, and just to the part, it's just in part 1 where he comes across a situation where he goes in a naval battle. It's Austrians against Venice, and that's a bit I was looking at. And I was watching it back again yesterday as well. And ends up in a naval battle against the non-player realm Venice. So comes down to this. Almost takes this track and looks up here, but then realises it's not an enemy. It's not a player realm, the enemy. So then comes to there, roll battle dice, artillery dice equals number of hostile ships. Right, hang on. That does say ships there, though, doesn't it? Yeah, so just looking again, and he does come to the conclusion that a tower of dice equals number of hostile ships. He then looks to find out what this means for an NPR. NPRs then use their naval capacity. Their naval capacity is equal to the number of ports, with a large port being a 2. So in his battle here, the Austrians have the one ship, right? And but Venice has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ports. So he rolls 5 dice against the Austrian ship. Now the Austrians don't roll back here, which is, it's just, I wish I was seeing that, but I'm going to have to just go with how he's played this. There doesn't seem to be any comments. I think the designer actually makes a comment on the video, so nothing challenging this though. So so he rolls 5 dice, but he needs to roll, remember, he needs to roll cannons equal, greater than or equal to 2 plus the adjacent bot ports. So in his situation here, it's 2 plus he has crane, which is an adjacent bot port. So he's got 3. So they're all 5 dice against his 3, and actually I think they get 4 hits, which actually removes this ship and then ends the battle. That's how he goes about that there. So let's try and transfer that to ours and hope that he's getting it right. But I mean, this one is totally different because, so it means that they're not rolling any dice here then in a naval battle. It's just the defenders that are rolling. But the result can still be that Denmark win, because if they don't roll enough dice, well, we'll see once we get back to the flow chart. But I think this is, well, it is impossible for them to achieve this result because they've only got 1 port in the sea zone. So they're only going to get 1 dice. And they need to roll 2 results, 2 positive results, plus 2 extra ports in that sea zone. So they need to roll 4 cannons out of 1 dice. So we're not going to bother with that die roll. We are going to say that it was not successful. And clearly this is a big difference to attacking Venice. But then this is a smaller realm. It's just one, it's just one realm, 1 province. And that's it. So let's just say they roll and they get 1 cannon. That is not equal to... did they roll enough cannons that are greater or equal to plus 2 adjacent bot ports? No, they did not. So we come along here and then we see this, and it says resolving bot receives 1 bot power if first battle won this turn. There's a wee asterisk. Down the bottom it says note the first bot power gain for the first battle win of a turn for the resolving bot active player is in most cases already specified in the relevant bot action charts. Right, so I think if we go back to the military chart now, it might tell us in there that they're going to gain 1 bot power. So they've won that battle, and then we end the battle. So, but they have still got to get this 1 bot power. But I'm just going to go back to the military chart. So we were on go to naval battle, and we've now resolved it. So now this is where we go along this black line. This is where Bridger gets a bit. This all messed up as well. He ends. Does he even end? I think he ends a turn here. Whereas we go along here. So Now, it's not said about giving us an automatic... well, actually, hang on. Look at the end turn bit here. It does eventually come down to you gain 1 bot power if won a battle this turn. That's after all of this. Well, does that matter? They're not going to spend... Well, actually, they are. They could be spending bot power here. So when did they get the bot power? Did they get it down here? Or did they get it where we said? Where it just said? That's quite relevant, I think. Resolving bot receives 1 bot power if first battle won this turn. And it says down the bottom, the bot power gain for the first battle win of the turn for the resolving bot active player is in most cases already specified in the relevant bot action charts. Well, I think that's kind of important because, I mean, we've won that battle there, so we should get the bot power then. I don't think we're going to take it then. I think we're going to take it now. So the Danes get 1 bot power. Stretching again. There they go. And then we carry on. So from the naval battle, declaration of war triggers land battles. Well, no. They would need to have an army there for it to trigger. Pretty sure that's the case. So then we go no. Is the army side greater than or equal to 2 times the target strength? And it's got a 2 there. Which says realm strength. Non-player realm equals tax income. Player realm equals number of deployed units plus available. So non-player realm equals tax. Well, what are we doing here? Alright. So army size greater than or equal to 2 times target strength. Right, okay. So the target strength is going to be their tax income. And the army size is greater than or equal to 2 times... right, army size is greater than or equal to 2 times target strength. But, well, Hamburg's just 1. It's just 1 grant. It's 1 tax income. So that's a 1. And then what about the army size? Well, it's got everybody available. In fact, did they get moved into here when they declared war or something? Because they did have some up there, didn't they? They're all down here now. So their army size is greater than or equal to 2 times the target strength, isn't it? Yeah, because they've got 5, and the target strength is only 1, so that is yes. So yes takes us to, is the army is on the map board? No. So place army in own area closest to enemy. Check for MAC, and then it's got the 5. Prefer area with enemy, then closest to enemy of greatest strength. Again, it's got the 2. Well, it's only got yeah, it's only got the 1 enemy. Check for MAC, which is 5. Adjust unit availability in army based on MAC. See page 5. Place army in own area closest to enemy. Right, hang on. Right, so the Danish bot's coming out. Army's coming out. Oh, this is the one that's got 2 of the same. Well, it doesn't matter. I think that's meant to be the first army, isn't it? That one. Yeah, I've got two of them the same for Denmark, unfortunately. I think I mentioned that already, didn't I? Yeah. So it's got to go in its own area. Place army in own area to closest to enemy. It says check for Mach 5. Well, the closest area to the enemy is here, isn't it? In own area. Right? Now, check for Mach. Just unit availability in army based on Mac. See page 5, right? Yeah, and this is this Mac it's on about. This is where you've got to be careful. Well, it's in its own area just now. So area has land connection to bots capital, and it says a land connection. It's a continuous chain of bots towns that are adjacent by land. So, okay. And that would be an unlimited, so I think it would have its full 5 strength in its army. Area has no land connection to bots capital. The bots maximum capacity, see page 22 of the main rules, for the area, +3 when on 9 if naval bridge closes on. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm starting to get heavy on me. What's MC? For the area, +3. Let's read what it says. I think that may be more sensible. Well, a bot's army may suddenly appear in various locations on the map in ways that the armies and units of human players cannot. The number of units that they can actually use in a battle is determined by their MAC in the area in question. MAC simulates a bot's ability to muster units locally and their ability to transport units there from other parts of their realm. If army size exceeds MAC when doing a MAC check, the excess units are weighed down on their side to signify their unavailability. Oh yeah, and these units should be standing up, so I just like them lying down, but they should be standing up and you should lie them down and make sure they're not available. I'll find some other way to do it. I'll turn them upside down or something. Conversely, if MAC exceeds the number of available upright units when exceeds the number of available upright units when doing a MAC check, stand anyway down units up until reaching MAC. Units are also stood up if the army is removed from the board. Unavailable weighed down units take no part in battles fought by the bot's army. They cannot score hats. Right, okay, but without sort of going deep into that, this area that we're moving into also has a land connection to the bot's capital, right? So it's fine. So let's move back to the flowchart. Right, so we've placed this army in its own area closest to the enemy. We've checked for the map. Okay. Does that trigger a battle? No, because we're still not in the area beside the enemy. Because it's got to place the army in its own area closest to the enemy. Yeah. Triggers battle? No. Hostile units or area are less than or equal to 2 spaces away? Yes. I don't know about this naval bridge, but let's not worry about that just now. So yes, move army to enemy area and range. Prefer the largest enemy force, which is, right, there's only one enemy force. So we're going to move the army to the enemy area and range. Okay. Now this is just a one move. So in they go into there. But there are some restrictions about the moving. Let's say this was 2 away and we had the connection still. Well, maybe we didn't have the connection. Then we'll check the MAC and we've got to reduce the amount of units that attack him. But I think I want to say when we move into there, we've got to stop anyway. And that's because I think this is a neutral area. So I think let's just say our enemy was 2 areas away. I don't think we would be able to go 1, 2. Let's just say if it was in there. Don't think we would be able to do that. I might be wrong. I really need to watch more stuff. I really do. I'm really starting to see how tough a game this is. When it started off there and that, although I was struggling with a few things, I thought, yeah, this is, but it really does start. I think this is the area I was starting to get to when I realised that, oh my, this is deep and heavy. Right, so it's moved in there. So now I think it's going to trigger battle, isn't it? So triggers battle, yes, because we're in there beside the army's in there beside the. So we're going to go to a land battle now. Great. Okay, let's see if we can wing it with us then. I've got my doubts, but so land battle. Any enemy is a player realm. No. They're not a player realm, non-player realm. So we roll battle dice. Number of infantry dice equals number of hostile units. Okay. So yeah, again, I think it's just the units that are defending that roll the dice here. It is, isn't it? Yeah. I haven't been sure enough of this. I really haven't. So the number of infantry dice equals the number of hostile units. So does that mean they're only getting one dice again? That can't be, surely. I mean, they've only got a tax income of 1. Okay, I've had to just bottle out of this again and go and watch a bit more of Bridger's video. Because it is just in the first part. He does have a naval battle, and then he has a land battle eventually when he realises he's moved to a different bit, and somebody must point out to him. So indeed, he has, well, just coming down here just to give a bit of example of his battle. It's Austria against Venice, and his army ends up in here. So it's battling against this and this realm, this province, and this large province. It's not there because that's in a different area. So yeah, that's where it decides it could go into that area. The army could have went into that area, or it could have went in that area. But obviously there's more in there, so it goes in there. So it's fighting against 1, 2, and that counts for 2. So that's 4. So he counts that as 4 dice. That's hostile. Infantry dice equals the number of hostile units. So 1, 2, and there's 2 for the large city. So it's 4. So he rolls 4 dice against his army, which does some damage to the army. Doesn't wipe it out, however. And then as long as the army's not wiped out, then I think the Austrians then win the battle. So that's the way it does seem to work. It's not you both roll dice to think that's how it works. Whether it's different in the actual multiplayer side of the game, I'm not so sure. Yeah, there's just a lot to learn about this game for me. So what we do have is just one. It's just going to be 1 dice they're going to roll. Okay, so they're not going to win this battle, but they're allowed to roll this dice. So I'm pushing on with this, and we're hoping for the best. So it's number of roll battle dice. Infantry dice equals the number of hostile units. It's 1, and it's 1 of the white dice. And then assign casualties. Bot's casualties would be either that or that rolled is going to give a casualty, right? So let's roll dice. So yeah, he has got 1 hit. Okay. So chop that out of the way. Right, so they have hit 1 of the units. Right. Does that go back in the reserve, or does that get removed? I think that's destroyed, isn't it? Pretty sure. Yeah, it must be. That's eliminated, right? So what 1? But he's still got 4 left. So again, coming back to here. Does a bot has remaining units? Yes. Resolving bot receives 1 bot power if it is the first battle victory this turn. Well, that's not the case. Remember, we've already gained 1 for the naval battle, and then it ends the battle. So that's the end of the battle. So then we would go back, just to double check the military action. So we've done the land battle. Yeah, and then it does go to end turn. And then this is where also again mentions about this. But I think that should trigger as soon as you win the battle. You know, they won the naval battle, so that should work. Right, so I think that's it. I think we've got to the end of the turn for it. However, now I'm going to... Yeah, because we need to wrap this one up. Because I know I'd left 30-something minutes, and then I had that problem with when the tripod fell over. So it kind of stopped the video. However, one of the things I'd noticed I wasn't doing, and it's not that I don't think it's mattered. However, this is a time where it may start to matter. Was when we were going through this main turn structure, which feels like a long time ago that we drew this military card, which it was. So we came right down here. We got to draw a bot card, and every time I've done this bot action, main turn structure, all I've done is resolve the card action and end the turn. As you can see, there's a black line that comes away from that. So after you've done this, you need to come back here. And I've not been doing that. And I'm hopeful that it's not mattered up to now, but this might be a good time to have actually realised it. Because it brings you to here and it says, at war and card has war action. Well, no. Right, hang on. No, Grant. No, this is part of the draw bot card. Isn't it? So you've drawn the bot card. You've spent the cost, you've discarded the action card. Then it's telling you what to do. It's going to look at the war part. Yeah, I've skipped by all this. Look at that. That's terrible, Grant. So, was it a war card? You would do the war action. You would perform the war action. Did it take effect? End of turn. All the ones we've had, we've not been at war when we've drawn any ones with a war action. So it's going to be perform first action on the card, which we've been doing. Did the action take effect? If it did, end the turn. If it didn't, we've to perform the second action. We've done that a couple of times. Did the action take effect? Then it has. So we've never had this situation where we've looked at 2 actions on the card and none of them have taken effect, because then you would go to here and you would score prestige equal bot power spent on the drawn bot card. There you go. So you would actually score prestige if you couldn't actually resolve it, and then it would end the turn. Right, okay, but I'd skip by all that. But to be honest, I hadn't looked at it, and I thought it was something that happened after the drawing of the card, but it's actually not. It's part of the drawn card. But, we've done it all okay, but I suppose I should be mindful of this. Well, I dare say I'm going to come at the point where if we try 2 actions on the card, try the first one, try the second one, none of them apply, I'm going to say, right, what do I do now? And then hopefully I'll realise to come here to score this, you know. And then, of course, the other one is, well, I suppose that's skipping by the draw bot card. Was if there's no cards left, it's going to spend the bot power to score a point and then end the turn as well. Bot card actions. That's just giving you a list of the cards. Yeah. Right, okay. Right, I think that's enough for this part. And Denmark's turn, which seemed to take forever. And yeah, I did have to sort of kind of bottle out and use. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to watch more video footage to understand some of these things. It's tough. It's heavy. This it really is. I dare say once you start to grasp it all, and it's going to be fine. But anyway, I better get away for now. And I'll be back when I'm back. Okay, cheers.